Win at home on Afternoon Express, where 3 design contestants are turning 3 empty properties at Valdivia Estate in the Cape Winelands into dream homes using finishes provided by Caesarstone and Plascon. Vote for your favorite and you could win.
It's my favorite spot. The kitchen is often said to be the heart of the home. It's where we cook, we have the most interesting conversations, we laugh about old memories as well, and make the first cup of coffee for the day. So when it comes to painting the kitchen, how do we get it absolutely right? You want it to be stylish and fit your home, but not to be so distracting that it takes away from the feeling at home that it's in. To give her expert advice and tips today, we're excited to welcome back Anne Roselt, Plascon's Global Colour Manager. It's good to have you.
Hi, thanks again.
So I love the kitchen. It's one of my favorite spots in the whole house. I spend a lot of time there. It is literally the heart because I think it feeds the whole family, literally. Yeah. Tell us, what are some of the things that you think people do wrong in the kitchen when it comes to colour?
Okay. Well, I sometimes meet people who, I know it's very difficult to choose a paint colour, and then I'll meet someone and they say, oh, I painted my house with Plascon double velvet throughout the whole house in tawny mink 10 years ago, and when I am due to paint it again, I'm going to do exactly the same.
Same thing, yeah.
So I know it's hard to find a paint colour, but when you do find one, don't feel you have to be committed to it for life.
Yes.
You know, just as your personal style changed, so does your home, you know, sort of change with the times a little bit, and don't be scared to try new colours.
Okay, it's not like a marriage.
No, exactly.
Good. Those you stick to for life.
Yes, exactly. And then there's those people that embrace colour and love bright colours and are bold with colour, and they sort of go overboard with too much colour. So that's the other thing to be, you know, aware of. If you do love bright colours, that's great, especially in the kitchen. It is very creative. But then be sure to balance it a little bit with neutral colours, like whites or greys, just so that your eye has a space to rest.
This is some nice advice.
And then also neutral colours are, of course, perfect for the kitchen as well. Yeah. Natural colours like browns and greys and all of that are great. But then be sure to add lots of contrast and texture as well to not make it boring.
Yeah, you've given us lots of advice over the last while as we've been discussing the different rooms in the house, and I'm getting kind of lost in terms of creating the right environment in the space, because in the bedroom we're saying create the environment that suits you, what you want from the bedroom. Guest bedroom, we spoke about trying to keep the space welcoming and friendly and versatile. Now moving into the kitchen, which is one of my favorite spots, how do you go about, what kind of vibe do you want to create in the kitchen? Do you want to create something that's social? Do you want to shut it off from the rest of the house so that it's focused only on the food? What do we want to create? Well,
you want to create a nice, warm, friendly, sociable and creative environment. You want a space where you want to spend time. You know, if it's very white and clinical, maybe you don't really want to mess it up.
Yes.
But if it's nice and friendly, and your warm colours, like your neutrals, your browns and beiges and things, go very well in the kitchen. They sort of remind you of toast and bread and all lovely, yummy things. Orange is very creative, so if you want to try that new recipe, think about bringing some oranges, you know, into it. So, but most importantly, be surrounded by colours that you love. As I say, these warmer colours like reds, oranges really stimulate the appetite and all of that.
Yes.
But for me, for instance, I love, I've got light blue in my kitchen, which, you know, usually wouldn't be. But then, having said that, I'm not a very good cook. So maybe I should be having more orange and red in my kitchen. So, yeah, but those are the ideal colours for you. Do you know, the more creative colours, like oranges and reds and things.
So you mentioned quite a lot about creativity, and it fascinates me that you're saying so, because the kitchen in so many ways is a practical room. It's not one of those rooms that doesn't get utilised or can look pretty all the time. There is smoke in there, there's grease in there, there's splashing in there, there's water. Choosing the right type of paint is actually probably more important in so many ways for me personally, because I'm a messy cook. I make as much mess as possible to prove that my dish was like made with love, you know. How do we choose the right types of paint, and what are the right types of paint to use for a kitchen?
Well, you want a paint that's heat and steam resistant. So you want one that doesn't show drips. Yes, you get a heat and steam resistant, and also a washable paint. So if you do throw the spaghetti against the wall to test if it's cooked, you can actually wipe it clean again. So that would be Plascon Velvet Glow, and now it's water-based. So it's always important to use eco-friendly products that are water-based as much as you can. And the nice thing about Plascon Velvet Glow water-based is you can also use it on cupboards. So if you have melamine cupboards that you really don't like, you can even paint those with Velvet Glow as well. So Yeah, great paint for the kitchen.
Sure, fascinating advice. I think for me, I want to try and always do something different, something that's slightly off the wall, something that's unique. And I'm sure techniques are something that I've never actually played with before. I've played with color, I've played with the different types of paint, but I haven't played with techniques. So maybe some advice that you can have for our viewers on what techniques you can use in the kitchen and maybe some colors that are trending.
Well, one of the most popular techniques that people do in the kitchen is to actually antique their kitchen cupboards. That's very popular, or drag your kitchen cupboards.
Would you get an actual paint itself that does crack?
No, yes, you can do that, or you can just make your cupboards look old again using a little bit of raw amber. So you paint it whatever color you like, and then you take some raw amber and you dilute it with a little bit of terps or whatever, and you paint it on and wipe it off. In fact, in the latest issue of Plascon Spaces magazine, we focus on kitchens. We show you how to do the antiquing in a step-by-step form. Not in a kitchen, we actually do it on a lamp base, but it's the same thing.
Use it anyway, yeah.
And also in the magazine, we feature 4 kitchens, well, one kitchen painted 4 different colorways, and we've gone really quite brave with the colors, because the whole issue is based on Brazil, with the Olympics coming up in August. So we've chosen a Olympic Brazil theme. So we've got jungle greens and purples and reds and really exciting colors that you can also use in your kitchen. So get a copy of the latest Plascon Spaces magazine to see that.
Nice idea. So almost going retro a little bit is one of the techniques you can use, but also play with your colors and just get inspiration from other places, like having your own like Pinterest board when you go and visit the magazine, which is amazing.
There's so much decor inspiration around. And that's really where to start, is to see what you love and then surround yourself with something that you're really happy to be in.
Off I go to paint my kitchen. Thanks so much, Anne. I appreciate it.
Pleasure.
So, some amazing tips and advice for what could be seen as the most beloved room in the house. Well, for me anyway. So if you're looking for more color inspiration, head over to plascon.co.za and discover a world of color and inspiration to help you along the journey. Right, and on that note, let's go catch up with our design contestants at Valdevie to see what they're experimenting with in terms of color in their kitchens.
For my apartment, I've been using a very earthy palette, which is what I'm bringing into the kitchen. But the kitchen is a very tricky space when you bring in color, because it's very sensitive. I've decided to go for Velvet Glow, which is water resistant, making it very good for kitchens. The color I'm going for is a City of Green, which is a bit lighter compared to the Garden City I used in the other room. It's not every day that you find a green kitchen, so this is definitely a risk that I'm taking. It's definitely going to go well with the timber finishes and the Caesar stone worktops, which are very white and clean. I hope Anne likes the color, and I hope you guys at home like the color, because I love the color.
So my kitchen is very dark, and I'm going for a white countertop, and then for the paint, I'm going to use the paint as the final puzzle piece to my beautiful picture. So I'm going to use a charcoal color that's called Bovine from Plascon. I'm going to use it at the top there for the final touches, and here against this wall, just to contrast the white countertop. I like dark colors, and my kitchen is dark, so I think it's going to fit well into the space.
This is sleek concrete from Caesar stone that I'm using on my worktop surfaces in the kitchen. Now, because I don't have a lot of space to paint in the kitchen, I really need to look at the adjacent spaces and the colors that I've painted there. So this is Starlight Express that I've painted in the guest bathroom, and this is the aluminium snow that I painted in the guest bedroom challenge. But now I need to look at where I'm going to incorporate these, or if I'm going to use a different color elsewhere on the walls. So we're going to look at a 60, 30, 10% ratio that we need to consider for the bigger areas, and 60 being the prominent color in this space. So I'm thinking that we should either consider Zanzibar over here, North Island, and the 10% being the Spanish gold. But I'm still deciding, and I think I might actually go all white. Why not?
Well, now remember that votes are officially closed for your favorite design contestant's master bedroom. From today, you can start voting for your favorite kitchen on privateproperty.co.za and stand a chance to win. And remember that the design contestant with the most viewer votes at the end of Win a Home on Afternoon Express will walk away with a cash prize of 50,000 Rand. So every vote counts. Here's how.
Vote for your favorite design contestant's kitchen on privateproperty.co.za and stand a chance of winning a tulip dining chair to the value of 6,890 Rand. You also automatically get entered into the draw to win one of the 3 finished apartments valued at over 3 million Rand. Win a Home is proudly brought to you by Private Property in association with Nedbank.